if you're not eating any significant carb, now you're having some fruit, so you're having some, but for me, like I don't eat any fruit. I don't eat any carb. Basically, I mean, there's a trace amount in eggs, but I mean, I'm generally as close to zero carb as you can be. And so I need the fat. I mean, I need enough fat. I don't necessarily have to overindulge in it and just pour gobs of butter for me personally. But if I don't eat, if I'm eating lean meat and nothing and no carbs and no fat, I'm going to be miserable. So, I mean, there's some issues with that, but yeah, ribeye is pretty good. It's unfortunately, they don't make all ribeye cows. So you got to have the, there's some other good cuts out there and, ground beef, because somebody was, asking, what if you can't eat ribeye? I said, well, ground beef is a good option, for a lot of people. Do you, as far as, people around you that, you obviously said your family was glad to see you do this, but it sounds like you have some sort of fitness related interest. I mean, is that part of what you do for a living now? Is that?
Yes. Yeah. I'm a fitness and nutrition and life coach.
So, and what the people you encounter, how long have you been doing that? And did people that know you back when you were more plant-based?
Yeah.
Now they see you went through colon cancer. Now you're on an all meat diet. What do they think about this?
Well, I think, I'm out on the social medias like TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff. So, I share a lot of my journey. So you will have people that will come at you and be like, that can, you're going to get cancer again. And then I usually say, well, I did all these other things before and I got cancer anyway. So, and I'm feeling better. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I can't deny the results that I feel at this point. My family, I think, like I said, I have 2 boys. They love this. My husband loves this. My mom probably was more into eating like fruits and vegetables and stuff. So she's sort of like, whoa, but she's not going to really judge it. And as far as clients go, I ended up taking, I wrote like just a small ebook, to help some of my clients that have had issues for years with hormonal problems like PCOS as they're transitioning into menopause, things like that. And I'll say, I want to suggest that you just give this a try. Like try it for a week, try it for 2 weeks, and just evaluate and see how you feel. And I think every single person I've suggested that to has improved. They've lost weight. They feel better. Their energy is better. And I think especially, my clientele is older now. I have more people, over 40. I have some people in their 60s. And, with sarcopenia, how we start to lose muscle mass, I think the fact that they're upping their proteins more too seems to be helping just their ability to keep themselves fit and healthy.
Yeah. It's interesting because people say, well, you're going to get cancer from eating red meat. And you're like, well, I got cancer when I was eating nothing but plants. And it's kind of like, where's the cognitive dissonance there? So you said you're thriving 8 years past. So, you started carnivore in 2019. So, roughly about, 2.5, 3 years into it or something like that. And are you still, what is your surveillance, schedule these days? Cause I know for the first year after, it's like every 3 to 6 months, you're getting some sort of imaging and where are you at with frequency on that now?
So I'm all done with that stuff. They, it's like 5 years that they make you do that. And then you do colonoscopies every 3 years. So I just had another one this year and everything was great. My blood work is great. In fact, when I did more carnivore, because it seemed like my blood work went a little bananas. I always had really good blood work, went through cancer. Everything was crazy. Like my A1C went up, my cholesterol, all of that went up. And even when I was right before I did all the carnivore stuff, I would just do routine blood work every now and then to see. And it seemed like when I really adopted that as a lifestyle, my A1C always is low. Everything is staying low. The cholesterol is normal. So all my blood work is much better. Probably if I went right now, since it was just Christmas and I, had some things I don't normally eat, I imagine that it could be a little higher. I don't know, but it seems like that was my experience when I would test my blood. I did something called a Prenuvo scan this past year too. It's like a scan that they have where basically they say they can find a 1 centimeter tumor, like stage 1 cancer, and everything in my body was clean bill of health. Everything looked great. So I think that gives me also the evidence in myself here's where I was and I got cancer anyway. I did all the things and I think now it's pushed way more than it was. Like when I was doing that lifestyle, it was almost more odd back then. Like this is like early 2000s, where now I feel like the vegan lifestyle is pushed so hard that, people are like, what are you doing this carnivore thing? Now it is nice because I do see more people doing it like than even in 2019. Like it seems like people are coming on board with maybe there's something to this because I'm feeling better. And I think that's what I see out there now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The carnivore continues to grow and more people adopt it. And, you just can't deny the results. And, I get people saying, well, Dr. Baker's a charlatan. I'm like, well, I got a lot of receipts for a charlatan. I got thousands and thousands of people that are getting healthy. So, as far as the, so you've got the surveillance that you do so you're still seeing I guess if you're still doing colonoscopies, you're still seeing a GI specialist. Are they privy to what you're doing dietary wise? And have they had any commentary to that? What are their thoughts?
Yes, but I don't feel like doctors have all the answers, obviously. So I feel like I do what I want. But yes, I tell them. I go to a lot, some alternative, different doctors and stuff like that. But yeah, I've shared that with them and they're just, I think my colorectal surgeon, he's like, you know what, it's working for you. So keep going. Oftentimes they don't have the nutritional background. Like I can tell that I know more in some area, like in that area. So I think they just go, okay, it sounds like you're doing the right things. You look healthy. Everything looks good. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. I can tell you as a surgeon, I didn't know a lot about nutrition. I was an athlete and I cared about it. I didn't know as much as I do now after spending, a decade actively involved in it, studying and watching what happens to people. So, many people, you're just almost as likely to get as good advice from a plumber than you are a physician when it comes to exercise and nutrition, depending who you go to, because clearly there's a lot of physicians out there. You look at them and they look like, a bag of potatoes. What the hell's wrong with you, dude? And you're giving health advice. And so it's kind of crazy there. How is your, going from, this is always great because when you have people that have done a whole food plant-based diet, a very healthy version, you weren't eating Oreos and Diet Coke and garbage, right? It was a thing that they all say you weren't doing it right unless you do it this way, but you were doing it right? I assume. How is your and you're into health and fitness? How's your and now you're even older than you were then. How's your performance, athletic performance, your strength, all recovery, energy? How's that compared between the two?
In some ways, I think going through cancer and the surgery that I had obviously compromised a lot of my core. So some things have gotten, more challenging to do. But overall, I can still, I'm going and I'm working out and I do just, pretty much anything I want to do. I just can't lift the weights like I used to, but that is not as much about probably my chemical health as it is about the physical issues that, you
took a big hit to your abdominal musculature and all that stuff with I don't know, the low anterior section or whatever they end up doing with you, but that obviously is going to, structurally compromise you in a way. But how about like energy and things like that? Sleep?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Energy is great. I'm always a pretty energetic person, but I definitely, I just feel better when I stick to an animal-based diet. Absolutely. My energy is better. And I think as you get older, sometimes you just don't think as fast about things, and I think when I am eating that way, I'm able to function at a higher level.